Welcome. We are deliberating initiation for the Vedic mathematics as a mainstream discipline. In the previous session, we have been face to face with the format, features, and values of the fifth letter. The fifth letter E, the second vowel, is of TC value 2 and being of fifth placement, it has taken us in a sequence subsequent to the value 4. Therefore, a step ahead of value 4 along the geometric format amounts to a reach in 5-space domain. We know that 2 space plays the role of spatial dimension of 4 space. Further, we also know that 5 space plays the role of origin, the transcendental origin of the 4 space. Still further, we also know that 2 space has 5 geometries range and hypercube 2 square is having 5 versions. It is this feature which in a way amounts to having an initiation from fifth letter onwards up till the last ninth letter of the first formulation Ekadi came, parallel to the unfolding process of the transcendental seal 5 space as origin as seal of 4 space domain. Therefore, in this session, we plan to approach this initiation process from letter 5 to letter 9 as 13 steps chase. The first step is to be face to face with numbers 1 to 9. Numbers 1 to 9 are moon ank, the basic elements. These 9 numbers range, we know, plays the role of the format of 9 numerals of 4 space. The second step is that we shall be face to face with Param Vyom, the transcendental space. 4 space with 5 space as its origin puts a transcendental seal at the origin seat of 4 space. However, the moment this transcendental seal is broken, the 4 space domain is unsealed. In the process will be the pervading of transcendental space within the creative solar universe. Param Vyom, the transcendental space, takes us to the organization for value 44 as 15, 14 and 15. One will have a pause and will take note that within hypercube 4 as a fourfold manifestation layer of values 2, 3, 4, 5 has a transcendental origin, 5 space in the role of an origin, and 5 space being within creators of space which is a spatial order. The transcendental domain splits into a pair of transcendental domains, and as such the availability of solid dimensional frames of 5 dimensions for both the hemispheres, and as a result emerges the values 15, 14 and 15 equal to 44. The third phase is that the Param Vyom, the transcendental space, has 5 space in the role of an origin of a 4 space, and with the transcendental origin transcending out of the creator space will result into split for 4 space domain into a pair of 4 space domains, and as a result there will be a triple transcendence range 454, which together will make the value 454. The fourth step is that value 29, which is the TC value of Brahma, is the basic TC value, which is accepting the organization 14 plus 15. In this background, steps 5 to steps 9 amount to a sequential chase for letters 5 to 9 as a range and as well as a sequence of 5 sequential steps. At the 11th step, we will be reaching at the transcendental base for manifested creations and followed by transcendence through transcendental domain and the 9 versions range of hypercube 4. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with intensity effort shall be face to face with this range of sequential 13 steps and with it to perfect one's intelligence, one's comprehension, and one's insight of the initiation features of the Vedic mathematical domain as a range of 9 steps of 9 letters composition of the first formulation Ekadike Purve, which becomes the source formulation. The first step of insight is that the numbers 1 to 9, numerals 1 to 9, accept number 5 as of its middle placement. It is this middle placement of number value 5 which becomes a focused placement at the middle, and it goes parallel with the placement of transcendental origin at the middle, at the center of a 4-space domain. It is this placement of the middle value 5 of the range 1 to 9 parallel to the 9 versions of hypercube 5 which deserves to be comprehended well. It is with this comprehension of the expression of the 9 versions parallel to 9 values range, and the 5th version will be of euro signature. It is this euro signature placement for value 5 as 5 space in the role of transcendental origin of placement at middle center of hypercube 4 is the placement in terms of which we shall be now initiating unfolding process for the mathematical domain of letters 5 to letter 9. This will take us to the Param Vyom, the transcendental space. Param Vyom is the formulation, and this formulation we know is of TC value 44. Further, we know the formulation Eka Adhikain as a composition of 9 letters of sequential TC values range 642724681 of summation value 40, but with the transcendental seal at the center of the 4-space standing broken. The moment the 4-space domain is sealed, is free from its transcendental seal, it will amount to the release of a solid order, and as a result thereof, the 5th to 8th letters of TC values 2468 of the spatial order setup of 4-space will transit and transform into the quadruple values 3579 of the solid order parallel situations. Now, with this additional values for these four placements will make the total value for the formulation Ekadike as 44. One may have a pause here and take note that value 44 accepts an organization 15 plus 14 plus 15. One may further have a pause here and take note that value 15 is parallel to the value of solid dimensional frame of 5 dimensions of 5 space in the role of origin of the 4 space. And value 14 is parallel to the summation value of quadruple manifestation layers 2, 3, 4, 5 of hypercube of 4. Therefore, the placement of 5 space within 4 space at the origin seat of 4 space of spatial order will split 5 space domain into a pair of 5 space domains, and with it there will be an availability of solid dimensional frames for each of the 5 space domain, and as a result there will be an availability of value 15, 14 and 15. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be parallel with this organization. It is this organization within creators of space because of the split for a transcendental domain due to spatial order of 4 space, and it is this comprehension, it is this insight, it is this enlightenment which will bring us face to face with the format, features and values of Param Vyom, the transcendental space. The formulation Param Vyom is further of the feature as that the value 44 with value of digit 4 for its both placements is having unmanifest joint. It is a 10 place value format for the pair of digits value 4, which makes it value 44, but in fact it is of the format of 454 as value 5, which is in unmanifest form, which is avekto avektat, the unmanifest base. It is this unmanifest base which deserves to be comprehended while having an appreciation of the format, features and values of the transcendental space. This feature of the transcendental space, Param Vyom, is inherently because of the transcendental seal. This transcendental seal is there because of the transcendental space in the role of origin having a placement at the center of the 4 space domain. It is this placement of the 5 space at the origin seat which makes 5 space as unmanifest. Therefore, it is this unmanifest feature of the transcendental seal which has its own role to play, and this role stands played the moment the transcendental seal stands unsealed. With the transcendental seal standing unsealed, there happens to be a release of the transcendental space. Param Vyom, it is the release of the transcendental space at the middle, at the center, at the origin seat of the creators of space, which deserves to be comprehended well. For it, we shall further be face to face with this phase and stage. As we know, hypercube 4 is a fourfold manifestation layer 2, 3, 4, 5 of summation value 14. However, as for space is a spatial order space, so its first manifestation stage is hypercube 4 itself. However, the second phase and stage of manifestation in real four space is as hypercube 14. One shall have a pause here, one shall sit comfortably, one shall permit the transcending mind to be face to face with this manifestation feature of the real force space. This feature of real force space, because of spatial order, is of a pair of phases. At first phase, the manifestation happens to be as of hypercube 4. However, at the next phase of manifestation, it amounts to a manifestation of hypercube 14. It is this second phase manifestation feature which deserves to be comprehended well. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be face to face with this two-phased manifestation process of the creator's space, which at its first phase leads to manifestation of hypercube 4, while at the second phase the manifestation comes to be as of hypercube 14. Now we know that hypercube 4 is of 9 versions range. However, hypercube 14 is of 29 versions, and the value 29 is parallel to the TC value of Brahma, Lord Brahma, the four-head Lord, Creator the Supreme, the presiding deity of the Creator's space, real force space. Further, the value 29 is parallel to the TC value of formulation Visport. The simple rendering for formulation Visport is an explosion. Now, this explosion would mean the transcendental seal standing melted. Transcendental seal stands unsealed. There happens to be a explosion, a visport at the origin seat, as a result of which the five space, a transcendental space, a solid order space, a solid order space within a solid dimensional frame of 5 dimensions of value 15 stands released. It is this release of value 15 parallel to the value of a solid dimensional frame of 5 solid dimensions within creator's space makes the total value within creator space as 14 plus 15 equal to 29. The value 14 is parallel to the value of the fourfold manifestation layer as hypercube 4. Value 15 is parallel to the value of the dimensional frame of 5 solid dimensions of 5 space. Therefore, the sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of work to be parallel with the Vedic mathematics, Vedic systems, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be parallel with this phenomenon of this fourth explosion at the origin seat, at the transcendental origin seat of the creators of space. Once one is parallel with this transcendental phenomenon of this fourth explosion, and as a result, the creations going for their second phase of manifestations. It is this second phase of manifestations which is of value 29, and value 29 is the value, PC value of formulation Brahma. Simultaneously, value 29 is the summation value of 16 Ganita Sutras and 13 Ganita Sutras. Still further, value 29 is parallel to the organization of Samved Samhita as 29 archics. Still further, value 29 is parallel to the value of 29 shlokas range of chapter 5 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Still further, value 29 is parallel to the total number of shlokas of the shlokas vachas of Srimad Durga Saptati of its last chapter, the chapter 13. All these features are further deserved to be glimpsed and imbibed as Ardhamatra, the half measure, is as well is of TC 29, and step ahead Vyanjan, consonant. The Vyanjan as a formulation accepts TC 29. With it, one will be having a comprehension parallel to the comprehension of the Vedic mathematical domain. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be parallel with Vedic mathematical domain shall sit comfortably and to permit the transcending mind to have a comprehensive, simultaneous view of 5 letters, 5th to the 9th letters, Ganita Sutras as a mathematical domain is having its structural keys preserved in its very first formulation of Ganita Sutra 1 itself. The first formulation of Ganita Sutra 1 is Eka Adhikain. The formulation Eka Adhikain is a composition of 9 letters. The last 5 letters of this range are E, Ka, A, Na and A. These 5 letters deserve to be comprehended together. This range of 5 letters will at first phase and stage take us to TC values range being 2, 4, 6, 8 and 1. But as this range is going to be a second phase range of creation, as it is going to be the range within Param Vyom, a transcendental space. And we know the Param Vyom transcendental space is of TC value 44. As such, this range of 5 letters, 5th to 9th letters of the formulation Eka Adhikain deserve to be chased within transcendental space, which would mean this chase is going to be in reference to value 44. Therefore, the value 44 as the format value of the Param Vyom, therefore the TCV values of individual letters will have a twofold expression in reference to the formatted Param Vyom value 44. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of virtue to be parallel with the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to have a comprehensive view of letter 5 to letter 9 as an integrated expression of 5 steps range within transcendental space of the formatted value 44 parallel to the TC value of formulation Param Vyom. Now let us have a letter-wise chase. Now the fifth letter is E. It is second vowel. It is of TC value 2. The value 2 as of second vowel within transcendental space of formatted value 44 as such will take us to the values pair 42 and 46, 2 less than 44 and 2 more than 44, as it is in terms of it that the formatted value 44 will have a transcendence range. So middle as a dimension will on the one hand will take to the domain and the other hand it will take to the dimension of dimension. So these triple values 42, 44 and 46 are the values which will help us appreciate as to how the domain value 46 as it is a value which makes a reflection pair with value for minus 46. Value 46 also makes a reflection pair with value 64. Therefore, a range from minus 46 to 64 is the 11 steps range, which is the expression range of the mathematical domain of the fifth letter. The sixth letter, a step ahead, is Ka. The TC value is 4 in respect of the formatted value of the Param Vyom, the transcendental space 44. It will lead to the values triple 40, 44 and 48. One may have a pause here and take note that firstly the value 04 and 40 is a reflection pair. Secondly, value 40 is parallel to the 40 coordinates fixation of the transcendental domain within creative boundary of 10 components. The value 48 on the other hand is the value of the dimensional frame of 6 creative dimensions of spatial order. Therefore, 48 is equal to 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 6 is the value of the dimensional frame of a 6 space. We know 4 space plays the role of dimension of 6 space, while 4 space itself is a spatial order space. Therefore, these features of letter 6 in reference to the letter 5 make a sequential progression which deserves to be comprehended well. One shall sit comfortably and permit the mind to be parallel with this fourfold sequential progressions. So these fourfold sequential progression in respect of the fifth letter in reference to the letter E, the second vowel is 02, 42, 44 and 46. A step ahead in reference to the sixth letter Ka of its quadruple value 04, 40, 44 and 48 is a next phase and stage of progression of quadruple steps. Therefore, the sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity efforts to be parallel with the sequential organization of the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras shall approach quarter by quarter for all the quadruple quarters of the values of the letter 5 for its reach at the formatted mathematical domain of letter 6. A step ahead, one shall have a further chase of fifth, sixth, and seventh letter in terms of their quadruple values. Now these quadruple values in respect of the seventh letter as 6, 38, 44, and 50 are a very valuable reach. As we know, value 6 is a value of the perfect number. Further, we know value 6 is the summation value of the quadruple manifestation layers of hypercube 2. Value 38 we know is the value of hypercube 10, and value 50 is the value of hypercube 13. Therefore, the reach at the seventh letter will bring us face to face with the quadruple values, where each quarter of this quadruple is independently of very rich mathematical domain. As such, the sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras shall sequentially, quarter by quarter, for all the quadruple values of each letter be approached as per the sequential placements of these letters. The eighth letter is the letter which is of TC value 8, and it takes us to quadruple values 8, 36, 44, and 52. One may have a pause here and take note that value 36 is equal to the summation value of values range 1 to 8, and it is this feature for interrelationship of the values of the eighth letter which play their very dominant role in the organization of the mathematical domain. Finally, the ninth letter will bring us face to face with the quadruple values 1, 35, 44, and 53. We know value 35 is parallel to the TC value of Par Braham, and value 53 is the synthesis value of the transcendence pair of transcendence ranges of solid order. It is this reach up till the ninth letter which will ensure the success reach of the mathematical of Ganita Sutras being of the order of the solar universe. We know that Par Braham is the ultimate reach. It is the Par Braham reach. It is the Udgith Vidya which is being formatted here as a mathematical domain. To have a comprehensive view of this, one shall be face to face with the tabulated values of a transcendental base of the manifested creations. Let us sit comfortably and let us have an arrangement for value 35 of Par Braham with its reflection pair value minus 35, and also minus 35 and 35 as a reflection pair still further makes another reflection pair as 35 and 53, and the summation value of 35 and 53, 88, is equal to 44 plus 44. That means the transcendental space in itself is a transcendental content, and space as a content is the comprehension of the Vedic systems. Space as a transcendental space, as a transcendental content which makes layers, and it is the compactified layers of the space itself which make a volume. Sadhakas shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be parallel with the Vedic comprehension as that space is a transcendental space. Transcendental space is an expression of a transcendental content. The transcendental content gets compactified as layers. A pair of layers of the transcendental content as a transcendental space, as a pair of transcendental spaces, 44 and 44, equal to 35 and 53, make it 88, which is the value of the domain. That means the space which by the modern systems is being not considered, while the volume and volume units are being considered, is the limitation of comprehension of the modern systems. Vedic systems have comprehended and approached space as a content. Akash Tattva, Akash Dravya, Akash Dravya, space content, and the content makes layers. It is the compactified layers of the space which make the volume. Therefore, sadhakas shall sit comfortably and have a fresh visit to the values range from -35 to 53 as 9 phases range of 11 values difference parallel to the 11 geometries format of a 5 space. Transcendental space is Param Vyom. It is of TC value 44. The transcendental space is a 5 space. It is a 5 space content. It is a 5 space domain. It makes hypercube of 5 within creator's space. And hypercube of 5 is of 11 versions. These 11 versions of hypercube 5 make a format. Along this format, the Param Vyom, a value 44, means the quadruple layers of the Param Vyom. The transcendental space as quadruple layers manifesting upon 11 geometries format is a transcendental base for the manifested creations. Therefore, the sadhakas shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be parallel with the transcendental base for manifested creations as a 5 layers as a format and 4 layers as the domain. So the base, a 5th fold, is of 5 layers. Domain is the 3rd fold. Origin is of 4th fold. It is this phenomenon which, in the context of the transcendental space, will take us to 11 geometries, and this order will be of -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3 as the synthesis value of pair of transcendence ranges of value of order -5 is -35, and the 4 space has 9 geometries. These 9 geometries of 4 space are of 9 signatures. These signatures get organized as 0 at the middle and -1 to -4 signatures on the one end and 1 to 4 on the other end. These 9 signature geometries of 4 space get formatted upon the transcendental space orders of values -35 to 53. The ninth letter of Ekadike as has been the expression of values 35 and 53 on both sides of the formatted transcendental space. 44 has a formatted Param Vyom value having on its either side value 35 and 53, and it is this feature, it is this reach which is the reach of the transcendental domain of 9 steps of 5 space as a domain, 3 space as dimension, 1 space dimension of dimension, and simultaneously it is of the format of 9 versions of hypercube 4. 9 versions of hypercube 4, the transcendence range within transcendental domain of value 5319, the -35 to 53, and the 9 geometries of 4 space are all leading to the basic formation of the mathematical domain. Sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with the Vedic mathematics of Ganita Sutras shall sit comfortably and to visit the organization format features of the values of first 5 letters within creators in space, 4 space format, and the last 5 letters from letter 5 to 9 within the Param Vyom, a transcendental space. It is this integrated expression format of the manifested creations along the transcendental base which makes the reservoir pool of potentialities of the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras of the order of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe. Thank you very much.